Welcome, petals. If your life revolves around flowers, this is the podcast for you.
Go and talk to wholesalers, find out what flowers are needed. Don't just go and grow a lot of flowers because you've got to sell them.
Before we dive in, we welcome Fresh Cut Flower Wholesalers as our Season 3 sponsor. Blooming in New Zealand since 1992, they're a vibrant, modern wholesale business, bringing premium hand-selected blooms to florists and retailers nationwide. Hello everyone, welcome back to Flower Farming in New Zealand. Today we have a very special guest all the way from Huntly. Welcome Mike from Huhu Gardens. So tell us a little bit about Huhu Gardens. Is there a reason it's called Huhu? That's really fascinating.
We live on Huhu Road, so it just sort of, and it has a bit of a ring to it.
It does.
I found when we're at the auctions, when Huhu Gardens come up, everyone knew who I was. It was just sort of a name that, and they used to call me Mr. Huhu.
As long as they didn't call you Huhu Grub or something like that, then that's fine. That's really interesting though, isn't it? Because I know you sort of fell into your name, but it shows that it's worth having a name that is different and recognisable. And, you know, having a logo that's recognisable. I see you're wearing your logo and those kind of things. It's all part of the marketing ploy of your brand management. Well done to you for coming up with Huhu Gardens. But I do have to ask you, do you have any Huhu bugs?
Yes, we do.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, they don't affect us like Huhu bugs. The grubs actually live in logs. This time of year, you get a few big Huhu bugs flying around at night time, but they don't do any damage to anything.
Excuse my ignorance, are they a moth?
No, it's a big, long bug.
It's a bug?
A big bug. Yeah.
Oh, is it like a crunchy beetle?
Yeah, it's like a big beetle, but real big.
Okay. Mike was just saying that he's better off being up in Huntly because we're forecast to have about 3 degrees tomorrow night, and it's the week after Valentine's when we're recording this, but I think I'll take 3 degrees and no Huhu bug, sorry.
Yeah.
That thought is not great. What dragged you into flower farming, or did you come in as a willing participant to whatever you've created?
When I left school, I went for 4 years in a tree and shrub nursery, growing plants. So had a sort of horticulture background. My family sort of does lots of growing and stuff. And so when I left school, I did 4 years doing that. And then I went farming, milking cows for 15 years.
Ooh, hard work.
Then when I got married, I left a milking job because I was milking 800 cows, which I'm too pleased about doing. And this property was set up by Bruce Ingles, and it was already growing cut flowers for export. And it had been on the market for quite a few years. And we went out and had a look and ended up buying it. So we sort of, it was set up like the markets were there and everything when we bought it. So which made life a little bit easier. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So what was Bruce growing and selling?
He used to do callas.
Yeah, I thought that was right.
And then he was getting into hydrangeas. So when we bought it, he still was doing callas, and he'd planted, I think there was about 500 or 600 hydrangea plants there. So they were just sort of starting to come into production. So, so we sort of continued on from there. We were growing statice. He was growing statice in the hothouse, just purple statice. So we had about 1,000 statice plants in there, which these days you wouldn't grow 1,000 statice. Like I wouldn't be able to sell it. But back then, everyone just wanted purple statice, on the local market. We used to do 100 bunches a week or more. Whereas now, they wouldn't want that much.
No. Have you replaced that with other statice or just with other plants?
Just other plants, I've tried lots of different things. So now we're sort of getting into growing Ranunculus and anemones as a winter crop, which because it's, for the early spring. So it sort of filled in the gap there and just spread out the flowering season a bit more. Whereas when we were doing hydrangeas, it didn't start till November, December. And then went through to April. So we've sort of changed.
So when does your season start? When picking your Ranunculus?
About July, we
Wow.
start the anemones,
Right.
and you'll get a few early ranunculuses. So I've sort of been playing around with planting times. Like last year, I planted a little bit later. I thought I might push it out a bit further, but temperature just stops
They just,
everything. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
it
there was
does.
no advantage there. So I'm pulling it back to planting early and taking advantage of the good prices early on in the season.
Yeah, which makes complete sense.
They were going for like $20 a bunch last year, up to $20 at the auction. It was just crazy.
No, that's brilliant, isn't it? Because if that's how you can start your season, then that sets you up for what else is, whatever comes your way, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen pictures of your tunnels, which I'm so jealous of. They're such an unusual shape, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because
So,
they've got numerous hoops, but only
yeah, it's
the sides.
So it's 400 square meters area, and I've got about 10 beds in there. So it's just grown in shallow beds of I just buy in a garden mix, and yeah, because it was set up for growing Sandersonias and that sort of semi-hydroponic sort of things.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any soil underneath, so but it seems to work fine. Grows everything that we need to grow in there.
So 400 square meters, you said, and 10 beds. So they're 40 meters. No, they'd be. Yeah.
So they're about 20 meters, 18, 20 meters long.
Yeah. And then
And I
walkway.
get roughly about 900 plants per bed. So,
yeah. Okay. That's closer than I plant my ranunculus, I have to say.
Yeah, they're only 125 centimeters apart. Like I just used the flower grid.
Millimeters.
Millimeters, sorry. And yeah, I've just planted that, and they seems to work okay.
I wonder if that's because you're so much earlier and it's so much cooler, because I can fit 544 in a 15-meter bed, but you're doing double that.
Yeah, like all mine
Wow.
are grown from plugs.
Okay. Mine aren't.
Yeah, so that's the only way we can get the volume of plants, because you can't buy corms in New Zealand. So
yeah, I just saved my own corms.
Like I've been saving corms as well. I had about 3,000 this year, and then I was about to sell them, and it got mildew on them with all the damp weather. Yeah, but I think I had saved them. I did dunk them in a fungicide, and then spread them out a bit more. So I'm going to try just planting them. But yeah, and plus I've got all the seedlings coming on.
Yeah. And what about anemones? How many of those will you get in a 20-meter bed?
Same. I just plant them same distance. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of your ranunculus, and you obviously get an amazing stem length on them. What would that be?
Just being inside, I think, and just undercover, because it's same with the anemones. I had one bed right at the edge of the hothouse inside, and then I had a bed outside, and it was like night and day, the stem length on them.
See, that's really interesting, because for me, I get better stem length outside than I do inside. No, I'll go back on that. I get better stem quality outside. They're too spindly inside, whereas with the slower spring outside, they're strong and they're healthy. Inside, it just goes from freezing cold to hot quite quickly.
Yeah, we're quite lucky. We don't get frosts where we are up there. We're just high enough.
No comment.
High enough that we don't get frosts.
Mm.
It's just a little microclimate. We're sitting on top of a hill. Always get good air movement. Like I've got bananas growing up the back, which grow all year round.
Seriously.
But you can
avocados.
Yep.
Citrus.
Yeah, citrus, everything like that. Yeah, but the other thing too, in that hothouse now, it used to have fully plastic sides, so all around roll-up sides. So I've gone away from that and used microclimate on the sides. So I've got better airflow through. It keeps temperature, because they don't like heat. So it keeps temperature down and a bit more constant, but just stops that wind and those variables. Like my stem length on my anemones last year, I was getting average like 50 to 60 centimetres.
That's so impressive.
And like you're picking and sorting them out, and then you get in the 30s, 35 centimetres, and think, oh, geez, these are a bit short, but they're actually.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. But you just get so used to them being longer. And,
Yeah. So, so that tunnel house that you've got, I can't remember from the pictures that I saw. Has it got fixed ends on it as well, or is that open ended?
So it used to have roll-up sides and then plastic on the sides, but I've replaced that with
With the
microclimate.
microclimate, yeah, and the ends.
Yeah, same with the ends too. So it's all open. Yeah, and I used to have this when we first started, when it used to be all closed up, like the humidity used to get too high, like the statice used to get botrytis. It was just a nightmare growing stuff. And
Yeah.
since I've opened it up, it's way better growing conditions. It's a bit slower, but you get better quality flowers. Like I don't have to spray as much, and it's just life's a lot easier.
Yeah. So when you say it's a bit slower, do you mean like a week, 2 weeks? That much difference?
Like when they had this, you can adjust the temperature, like the sizes come up and down with the temperature.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, since I put the microclimate on, it's amazing the temperature difference. Like you walk outside, it's a lot cooler. And then you walk inside, it just stops the westerly winds coming through, and it's a few degrees warmer. So it just suits.
Do you find it also helps with keeping insects out of there?
That microclimate is quite close weaving. Like it'd have to be small bugs to get in. I do have the odd aphids and stuff in there, but it's just part and parcel of just keeping on top of them.
It's just growing, isn't it? Okay. So your season then starts in July with anemones first, then the ranunculus?
Yep.
Do you do tulips at all, or you don't bother?
I haven't bothered with any of that stuff. I only do it myself, so...
There's a limit, yeah.
And I have other work I do outside of Huhu Gardens as well. So I do a bit of relief milking and other things. Yes, it's a bit of a juggling act some days.
You're a busy man. So what goes after the anemones and ranunculus then? What comes next?
So once the anemones and ranunculus finish, then I switch over to marigolds. So I grow marigolds over the summer mainly.
Is that the Coco series?
Yeah. So I grow them all summer until right up to Mother's Day. And they're just working well.
I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest. I loathe them. I will, to be fair, I haven't grown Coco orange, and I wish I had. I grew the creamy white one.
Yeah.
It did. And in the light, we get very strong UV. So I don't grow any red flowers because they just burn out to brown and look awful. And I don't grow many of the creams. The whites are better than the creams. The creams just look dirty. Like even like limelight hydrangeas, we can struggle to get them looking as though they're not being sunburnt. And Hydrangea Annabelle, same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried the white one, the white swan or something. Is it called? I can't remember.
Yeah, white.
It was just ugly.
Okay.
I couldn't make myself sell it. It just didn't like it at all. So, which colours do you grow of that?
I do yellow, and the orange. I have tried gold, but I just don't like the flowers. They flower a little bit differently, and just they have big flowers on the top which tend to snap.
Oh, yeah.
I sort of ditched them and just gone for the yellow and orange. Yeah. And I grow a little bit of that white swan, but that doesn't grow as big either. Like it's totally different sort of plant.
So what stem length are you getting on those?
Oh, up to about 90 centimetres or more.
Your world is so different from mine. That's so...
And they're all planted at that same spacing.
Wow.
Same, like, everything's planted at the same spacing, and so they're just real tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they sell well.
And obviously that being closely planted like that helps force them upwards and straight.
Yeah, instead of pushing out. Because I do get a second take off them, like the ones I picked for Christmas. And they'll shoot away again, but you end up with a bit shorter stems. And
what, 50 centimetre stems or something like that?
It's still around 60 odd or more, but just not as chunky.
Yeah.
But I leave them in because they do regrow, and I do have new plantings coming on, but sometimes like certain colours they want more of, which I sort of don't have, so it just helps fill in the gaps for weeding orders and stuff.
Yep. Okay. So you've got anemones, ranunculus, marigolds.
Yep.
Then you into your hydrangeas.
Yep. So the hydrangeas we used to export. Stopped doing that about 7 years ago when light apple,
Yep, like brown apple moth.
apple moth
Same
was
with
found in
peonies.
a foliage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it hit everyone.
Yep.
I went to meetings and they wanted us to spray more.
Yep.
Was
And really horrible sprays
yeah,
try
and I've had spray poisoning, like when
Yeah.
I was in the nursery industry, like we used to use like Law's
Yep.
Ban, like all the bad stuff when we're growing cyclamen. And yeah, it's close to the house, so I just decided no. So then I went local market, and it was about time hydrangeas started to come into fashion. Yeah, just pushed on the local market and like doing auctions and things like that. So I was selling lots through there. And then about 5 years ago, like the foliage started to get more and more. So I've gone more to foliage now than flowers, which is even easier. It's a bit boring. It's a bit boring, but it's a good money turnover.
Great straight stems that are clean.
Yep. You know? Yeah, like I do them at 70 centimetres in a 5 cent bunch, and I cut my plants hard back to the ground each year, so you get all good fresh growth. I still get flowers, but not as many.
No, because you've cut the flowers off basically by cutting the foliage, haven't you?
But the flowers you do get are big long stems and a bit bigger sort of heads on them, so you get better quality sort of flowers then.
Yeah.
Because even when I was selling at the auction, like my flowers would be like 80 centimetres long.
Right.
Like stems.
Yeah.
So
that is tall. So do you drive your flowers to market or do you truck them?
No, so we're an hour away from Mount Wellington in Auckland. I used to do the auctions, but I've gone more to wholesale now. So I've got one wholesale supplier in Auckland that I supply most of my flowers to now. It's just easier. Auctions are up and down. Yeah. There's lots of variables.
So tell me a little bit about your growing conditions then for your hydrangeas. They're obviously not in the tunnels. Are they in a shade house? Or?
Yeah, so they're under shade. Because like during the summer when it gets real hot, they just burn, even the leaves. So to keep good quality leaves, they need to be under shade, or else they start getting a bit of a browny sort of edge to them. And keeping the quality up is the biggest thing with all flowers and that.
It really is. And it's interesting how that seems to pass some people by. And the massive difference between cutting a flower and cutting a good quality flower. It's not really a bee I have in my bonnet, but I get upset when I see pictures of flowers that are just rubbish.
Yep.
You know, it does nobody in the industry any good if second grade product tries to get sold as first grade. If it's second grade, call it second grade.
Yep.
Sell it at second grade. Expect a different price.
I'd rather not sell it.
Then lose your reputation.
People see the floor of my shed and go, oh, start rummaging around all the flowers I'm throwing out. But you've got to have a standard. And if you don't stick to that, it's your name. And I've seen it at the auctions over the years. Like I've been going to auctions for over 20 years. Like before they changed the system, I used to go in and sit in on the auctions and look through the trolleys and see the stuff comes through. And there were certain growers that buyers wouldn't buy unless they really had to, or at a real cheap price. And that's the thing, like having your brand name and your quality, especially through an auction system, makes a big difference, because especially now that they are buying online, they need to know that they're buying good quality, because they don't see the product until they pick it up. Whereas before they used to be able to walk through and see the flowers before the auction. Keeping your quality up's a big issue.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because my wholesale buyers don't see the product until it arrives at their doorstep either. They may see photos of it. But that's not the same as actually physically viewing it. My wholesale buyers are very happy with my foliage, and they're buying that, which is what I want. Like you've gone to hydrangea foliage. We've gone to a lot of other foliages. And part of that is because there's fewer people doing foliage, so it's definitely in demand. But also we've got the space to do it. And then as we age, foliage is actually a lot easier on the body than flowers. And I think people need to think about those things.
And I find the foliage is good because, like with flowers, when they're ready to pick, you have to pick them. Like
Yes.
you have to be able to sell them. You have to get rid of them.
Now, just now.
Now. It doesn't matter whether it's Christmas time or not, they need to be picked. That's what I've sort of changed, like going to the foliage has given a bit more flexibility with my time, and I've sort of cut back on the amount of annuals and that because it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I actually just find it quite stressful. It takes a lot more selling to sell an annual than it does a shrub or a perennial that florists understand and that other people who are using the flowers, event organisers or whatever, they understand them. Like if I went to an event organiser and said, yeah, I've got orange marigolds, they are not going to picture your 1 metre tall Coco orange. They're going to picture Granddad's funny little orange thing that's he planted round his veggie garden. So it's interesting how much time we actually need to educate about annuals, whereas for most perennials, there's already some knowledge out there.
Yeah.
So do you know off the top of your head how many hydrangeas you have now?
I'd be close to 1,000, I think. Lost count.
Your property sounds like my dream property. Bananas, avocados, citrus and hydrangeas. I would be quite happy. Do you want to do a swap?
I think it's a bit cold down there for me. I don't mind the cold, but if we're growing, it makes it a lot simpler where we are. Like,
yeah.
My biggest problem with the hydrangeas is them dropping their leaves so that I can prune them. Like some of them just
Sorry, what do you mean?
So they don't go dormant.
Because you're so constantly, your temperature is so constant.
The temperature's up, and bridal bouquet, I find, like, it just doesn't, it'll have leaves and flowers right until July. There'll be still flowers coming out. One year I picked a whole bucket full of white hydrangeas in July. It's just different growing zones.
Very different. And as you say, you're obviously in a microclimate that is just absolutely perfect for growing what you're growing.
Yeah.
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 Fresh cut flower wholesalers believe wholesaling should never be old school or predictable. Driven by passion and a genuine heart for the craft, the team brings a modern energy to everything they do. By curating top quality flowers and tracking seasonal trends, they provide a fresh vision to the industry. Whether you're a grower looking for a trusted channel, a retailer filling your shelves, or a wedding florist crafting the unforgettable, Fresh Cut is the partner who understands the art and the business. There's excitement ahead with big ideas blooming. Fresh Cut, established in 1992, evolving for tomorrow. Okay, so you've got the hydrangeas and they flower from, when are you picking them from?
So the foliage will start in November.
Yep.
Sometimes late October, because the magnolia's finished, and as soon as that finishes, then they're sort of
they want the hydrangea.
To fill in the gap.
Yeah. Big leaves to fill spaces.
Yeah, but yes, it depends on the season, like how it's growing, because I won't pick it until it's ready, because I've seen stuff picked early and it just flops, and it's, waiting another couple of weeks ain't going to make any difference for me.
In the end, you're going to get a better price if you wait until it's ripe anyway, and it removes all the stress of trying to get something to hydrate.
Yeah, well, I just have a fixed price for the season with my stuff with the wholesalers. So it's just, we have a fixed price from the start of the year to the end of the year. It doesn't matter whether it's Valentine's or whatever, it's just the same price. It just makes it simple.
It does.
They know where they are, and I know what I'm getting, and works for both of us.
We do the same with our peonies because it's just so much easier. Fixed price, okay, it's only an 8-week season, but fixed price for that. I don't have to think about it. It's really easy to invoice. They know what they're paying up front, and it's the easiest way to move them because they're not worried.
We do the same with the anemones and Ranunculus too.
Oh,
same
do you?
Sort of thing.
Wow. Okay.
Towards the end, we usually do drop the price, just sheer volume, and then all the other spring flowers are coming in too. So you've just got to be prepared to
take the cut,
drop the price to keep moving it, because we're taking up anything up to between 200 and 300 bunches a week. They're taking. Wow. For them to move our product, and it just saves us having to shop around and go elsewhere. I'd rather just drop the price, and we just negotiate and
move the product.
Yep.
You've already spent the money growing it and picking it. You just want to get that back. And if you've already made a good value at the start of the season, you don't mind that so much at the end. You're not the hamster on the wheel trying to make enough to get you to your next crop.
Yeah, and we're still getting good money for it. It's just not as much as like at the start of the season. So you just got to be prepared to negotiate your prices just to keep moving that, or else it becomes expensive compost.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Or your house starts to look magnificent. You can't move for flowers, one or the other.
It's usually my chiller. I have so much stuff sitting in there.
It's interesting that you raised that, because I spent the day on Monday. So I cleaned out my chiller. I took everything out because after Valentine's, not so much Valentine's, we weren't so busy for Valentine's. We just had wholesale orders. But the week before, which was Waitangi weekend, we had so many weddings on that I had been hoarding all these flowers. And it got to the point where they'd got out of rotation by date. And it was just confusing and confuddling. And I thought, right, out she comes. So yeah, went through the whole lot and did a really good, strong cull. And it just, so you throw away some flowers. Yeah. So what? Yeah. Now you can move in the chiller. Yeah. Now you can get it back in. So it's
fresh stuff and
it makes the selling that much easier if you know exactly that you've got the right number of flowers in the bucket, you know what date it was picked and all those. Yeah. Just so much easier.
Yeah.
We got a bit sidetracked there, strangely enough. So your hydrangeas, you're picking them from November until...
This year we'll mostly get into March, because we've had March, April, because we've had lots of rain this year. Everything's growing well up here, everything's green. With other years, because we don't irrigate the hydrangeas anymore.
Not at all.
No.
Sorry, my jaws just dropped. For people who don't know, I grow in Central Otago and we could not grow anything if we did not irrigate. So to not have to spend hours a day on irrigation blows my mind.
It used to be irrigated, but where we are, our only water source is rainwater because we're sitting on top of a hill.
Yeah.
And so I just water the hothouse inside where it doesn't get any rain. And since we've stopped doing the flowers, it's just the foliage. So the plants seem to handle the dry conditions.
Less water.
They're under shade and everything. So, and usually by this time of year, the bulk of it's been picked anyway. So the plants, if they survive, they survive. They don't usually die.
Yeah, it might slow them down, but it doesn't matter towards the end of the season, does it?
It's only foliage that we're doing. Your flower size, I noticed, it gets a bit smaller.
Yeah, but
without the water, but that's sort of a secondary
byproduct.
A byproduct for us now. Yeah. So it's mainly whites that we sell and a few antiques.
Okay. So what is your annual rainfall?
About 1.3.
Okay. Yeah, well, three times ours.
Well, just up the road at Otagonga last week, they had 300 millimetres of rain. But during some summers, we've had 150 millimetres in a downpour. Where we're sitting, we're close to the Hakamata Range. So we're at the top end of the valley, and it tends to sort of get a bit more rain up there. I can drive to 4 k's down the road, the bottom of the road, and there'd be no rain down there.
Yeah, so our annual rainfall's about 400. Your summer temperatures normally sit around what temperature?
Oh, we can get up into the 30s up there.
And humid or dry?
Humidity, a few weeks ago, before that storm, she was just crazy up here with the humidity.
See, ours sits at about 30% humidity and dry.
We're in the 70s to 80s last week. So,
So I know that you use the mix in your tunnels for the things that you grow in there. What about your soil conditions outside of the tunnels, like where the hydrangeas are? Is it free draining or are you on clay or what's your...
because we're on a hill, so it's all free draining.
Free draining.
The soil here is quite a good soil where we are. And the clay's down, can vary in depth.
Yeah.
Up to about half a metre down. And it's not a puggy clay, it's real hard clay. So... and the topsoil's real good.
So it's not a stony mess.
No, no stones up here.
They've all been washed away. That's the trouble. Yeah. So what else do you grow there, Mike? I'm sure I've seen a picture of you with a bouquet, and it wasn't just anemones and ranunculus.
I do grow other bits and pieces outside. It just depends what takes my fancy each year as I go through the catalogue.
Yeah.
We've grown like this year I had some scabiosa, amaranthus and things like that. I'll grow in blocks outside. It just depends on how much time I have. Like the hothouse is sort of the main area, and if I have time, I'll throw in something outside.
So when you're growing the marigolds, is the hothouse full of marigolds
Yeah, pretty
at
much.
different growth stages?
Different stages.
Right, got you. That
Through
makes
the
sense.
season. So
Yeah,
like I did have some amaranthus in there this year.
yeah.
And just some hanging stuff, some of the green and stuff. So yeah, just to fill in beds, which is growing.
Did you see the price they were getting for that at the start of the season?
Yeah, it's always crazy.
It was crazy price. It was over $10 a stem for amaranthus.
Yeah. And we grow a bit of gyp. I had gyp outside, but this year, because it was so wet, like I had to throw a lot of it out. The flowers just get waterlogged.
Okay.
And they don't all open at once. And so those first flowers get waterlogged and then start turning brown. And it doesn't look nice when you got a little bit of brown through the flowers.
No, it stands out like a sore thumb.
Normally, our summers are dry enough, like February.
Mm.
It grows fine outside. Variety of grow. I grow new glove, which is quite a tall, chunky flower. And yeah, normally it stands up well. But this year we just had so much rain. It wasn't big dumpings, but it was just consistent all the time.
I read somewhere that we have had 85% less sunshine hours than we normally would.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, even today it's quite overcast outside. Like they say it's clear, but like when you look at the weather maps, but we just get this cloud keeps coming through and showers. Like we've had showers coming through today. So
would you normally consider February to be your most settled growing month for summer crops, or are you a January area?
No, January's quite a hard month, I find. We do get sort of lots of wind because we're sitting up high.
Yeah.
And if you get those tropical storms come in from the north, like we're north facing, and it just can slam into us. So I've sort of stopped growing sunflowers outside because of that.
They were at a lean like this?
Yeah, there's nothing worse. Like they're just about ready to pick. You get a storm come through and then they'll
flat.
Yeah. And just the timing of you just got to pick them at the right time. So
we find January's relatively busy for us, but that's because of weddings in the area, because people come here for weddings, long weekends, summer holidays and things. Then Waitangi is good if they're a long weekend, particularly for weddings. But Valentine's was very quiet for us. Do you do anything in particular for Valentine's Day?
No, generally it's just what I have at the time. I don't actually grow for that day anymore.
No, me neither. Never have.
And because we do the foliage, like they want foliage.
Yeah, they just want it. Yeah.
So like I did 2 trips up to Auckland, because I couldn't fit all in one go because they had marigolds as well going. So I had to do 2 trips up. So which is good.
Yeah. Do you know, this is probably a mean question to ask you, but do you know how many stems you get out of your tunnel house over a season?
For
just the number of stems, just roughly.
No, I haven't really sort of sat down and...
Yeah, I was just, so it was just curiosity.
Yeah. I did work out for the Ranunculus. We've only been growing Ranunculus for about 5 years, since about 2020. And it's something I just sort of been playing around with, and it's because there's not much information out there for growing them in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of trial and error and finding things right. But you roughly get about 2 stems per plant, 2 good stems.
Okay. We're getting 8.
Yeah, but mine only from plants, like the first year, and they're close together. So it's just the volume thing. And I found you got to get the plants big. Like when you're growing from the plugs, it's getting that bulk in the plant before they flower.
Yes.
If the plants haven't grown well, you only get short flowers on them.
So do you foliar feed your Ranunculus at all?
Yep. And I'd spray them roughly every 2 weeks. I just use a organic fungicide on them.
Yeah, so full powdery.
Yeah.
Yep.
For powdery mildew.
Yep.
Last year I had hardly any powdery mildew through the winter, so some years are worse than others, just depends on the season. Keeping on top of it early is the biggest
Yeah.
thing with powdery mildew. People sort of leave it till the last when they see it, and it's too late.
Too late. It's too late then.
You got to do regular spraying.
Yeah.
Right from where you go.
What spray do you use? Which organic spray do you use for your?
And that, like, it's just a potassium-based spray.
Yeah.
And I use a spray oil with it as well, which helps a sticker that they put out.
Yeah.
And it seems to work fine.
Potassium is so useful to fight fungal diseases, isn't it? Potassium and calcium together. I'm very strong on using calcium more as a soil drench than as a spray, but it just seems, particularly on the ranunculus, seems to give them a whole boost of energy that gets them through another whole flowering.
Yeah, I find like it when I plant mine, I always put a lot of gypsum in the beds, like just to give plenty of calcium and the sulfur and stuff in there. And I usually put a new layer of garden mix in, because I found even if I just put on the like fertilizers and stuff in there, the plants don't grow as well. So I just add another small layer of the garden mix over the top, and it just gives them a boost.
So have you found a good source for your garden mix which isn't contaminated with other things?
Yeah, I get it from the local landscape place, and I know the guy, and it's made out of goat bedding.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it's sort of the base of it, and it's got lots of other stuff mixed in. And I've tried lots of different composts, and some are good, and some are just average. And the garden mix is, I find it doesn't dry out the same too.
Yes.
Like some composts can go dry.
Yeah, they're so barky. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the hothouse, because it's warmer and I use drip irrigation, that the beds can really dry out. But since I've been using this garden mix, I've had no issues.
So do you use drip tape or drip pipe? Drip tape.
Drip tape, yeah. Just drip tape through the beds.
Yeah, we struggle with keeping the emitters clean in the drip tape. They just clog up, so we have to flush the lines quite often.
Yep.
But that's because they get hot because they're sitting outside in the heat. So it's not surprising, but it's just another job that needs to get done.
Yeah, I usually replace them. I'll get 2 years out of it usually.
Okay.
Just depends if the wife's cut the tapes too many times and she's been helping me and get lots of irrigation.
Put the fork through them or snip them with the snippers, all those things that we do with them.
So if it gets too many joins in there or insulation tape around it, I just change it out. And
the joins are a pain when you go to pull the tape out at the end of the season or flip a bed or something, aren't they? So one more question about your tunnel, because I'm fascinated by it. I'm pretty sure I saw that you run shade cloth in there under the plastic covers. Is that right?
So some summers, like this year hasn't been too bad because it's been quite cloudy, but usually from January I pull shade across there. Just it gets so hot down there, and all the plants are way happier in the shade. Like even the marigolds, and you get better colouring in that. Like, and they get a bit longer too, because if you get high light, they just get shorter.
Yep.
So putting a bit of shade across like draws them up and keeps them lit.
So we put, I think it's 35% shade on our tulips and our ranuncs. Do you know what proportion of shade your one is?
Yeah, I think it's around that 30 to 40%.
It looked like it because it was green,
it's just sort of just dull it down a bit in there.
Yes. Yeah. Do you keep a tab on how much difference that makes to the temperature in the tunnel at all, or do you just know it's going to make a difference so you don't bother?
No, I just go by the season really. Like this year I haven't pulled it across at all, but if it starts getting real hot, like if we get hot Februaries like we normally do, usually in January I start pulling it across, especially when you're planting out and stuff. When those seedlings go in, that heat, that initial to the roots get in there.
It just, particularly with drip tape, you've got to hand water anyway.
I usually the first week or so I just hand water everything, even with the drip tape on, just so their roots get there, because it dries out because of the spacings. It just goes straight through, especially when you've got free draining sort of like a potting mix, more or less.
Yeah. Mike, I need to ask, what would be the piece of advice that you would give to someone who is considering setting up a flower farm?
Go and talk to wholesalers, or like find out what flowers are needed. Don't just go and grow a lot of flowers because you've got to sell them. And it just depends on what you want to sell. Like, do you want to sell for a wholesale or the auction? If you are, you need to grow big lots. Like talking to the wholesalers, I know that flower farmers go in there and say, "Oh, I've got some flowers for sale," but they want 30 to 40 bunches, and they have about 6.
Yeah.
And it's a volume sort of thing. So, like for me, I just grow in blocks of like the marigolds. I know I can sell like that. They're taking anywhere between 30 to 60 bunches a week. It just varies whether there's weddings or something that they need them for. But and you need a lot of plants to produce that. Like it sounds like a lot of flowers in my beds, but it doesn't take long to get rid of them when you've got a big order come in.
Yeah. And you've got to, if you want to be consistent, you don't want them all flowering at the same time. So you want 300 this week and then 300 the next. And, as you say, it's the rotation and flipping the bed or just having the plants at various stages. So you've got that consistent supply is just so important.
Yeah, like at the moment I've got empty beds, but that's because I'm going to start planting some anemones soon, and Ranunculus will be, they get them planted within the next week to see, because I've sent the agent to Naraka out to, they do my determination for that.
Yeah.
I grow everything else myself, but I found with the Ranunculus, like, it's easy to send it to them, and they do a real good product. I have surplus plugs each year. Last year I actually sold quite a few to flower growers, and I did smaller quantities, like 50s and stuff. Mainly, I've got to get more, because some years like you had bad germination. And I've got to buy it in 1,000 seed lots. So there's always surplus plants. All my anemones I buy as corms, so I get them. So I get them through Green Harvest, so they import them in, so I can just buy how many I need of anemones, which is quite good.
Well, there's our learning curve for the day. I didn't know that. There we go.
So you can still buy anemones as corms for cut flowers.
Okay, so, just not ranunculus. Now, somebody said to me yesterday, a florist, that we couldn't get ranunculus seed this year, but I've got it.
Mine turned up in January, so I got 12,000 seed this year.
Whoa, wow, that's a lot of seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just to get the colours I wanted.
Yep.
And when I sold them last year, it was it was the first time I'd done it, and certain colours sold out a lot more, and I ended up short, so I bought a bit extra this year just to cover all that.
So what would you say is the greatest lesson you've learnt since you started flower farming?
Giving yourself time off more than anything. Like I found, like, you can just work 24 hours a day, just about. I sometimes work, but like this year, especially now, our kids are growing up. Like on a Sunday, my wife and I, we do a delivery, and then we'll go out somewhere, like, just giving us a bit of a break away from the place, which has been quite nice.
Because that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because if you're at your place of work, which may be your farm, which is where your house is and everything, you never leave work. No. And you just see things that you haven't done. You don't see the things that you have done. So it's an interesting thing that we need to be aware of. Yeah,
I don't usually come in until it gets dark.
Yeah.
I get told off, but because I grow my own seedlings and stuff as well, so mucking around potting up, and I also grow veggie punnets and that. I supply a couple of places as well, so just to fill the rest of the day.
I think I might be siding with your family and saying maybe narrow down what you're offering.
It's worked out quite well because I've cut back on some of the flowers that I'm growing, and doing the seedlings. Yeah, it's quite a quick turnover. Like by the time I plant, like the cabbages, like within 2 to 3 weeks, I'm selling the punnets. So it goes quite quick. Yeah, and just move them on. Yeah, they move on quick.
You've obviously got a great green thumb.
Yeah, so everyone keeps telling me.
Well, if people are buying what you're growing, then I think that you can take it as the compliment that it is, Mike, because I think it sounds as though not only are you a great grower, but you're a good thinker, and rationalising what you're growing, whether it be from the hydrangea flowers to the hydrangea foliage, or whether it be fewer annuals, it just makes sense.
You just got to be able to pivot all the time, like reassess things, and sometimes you just got
pivot,
and
yeah.
just
Yeah.
keep adjusting things. Don't try and keep doing the same thing. You've got to keep changing. Seasons change, like in growing conditions and stuff. So
Yes.
Yeah, and
It all
your markets
changes.
change, and markets change too. Like from 1 year to the next, like one colour will be in, and next year she's out the door, which is always the hardest thing. The old golden crystal ball.
Yeah, but there's always the standard things that are needed, and I think your hydrangea foliage and the ranunculus and anemones are becoming more and more popular because of the varieties that we can get now. I think,
and just because they're early flowering, because there's always a gap in the market, like with the flower farms in New Zealand, because most of them grow outside, so they're very seasonal. There's always that big gap, sort of from late April to early spring.
Yeah.
Having those ranunculus and anemones earlier, it's definitely a big market there for them. So, Well,
all I can say is well done you. Yeah, because I think it sounds as though your enterprise is amazing, not just to look at, but you've turned it into a business which is financially sustainable because of the length of your season. I don't know that it's physically sustainable because you just keep doing more, but you're thinking about it, and it's all
I'm
of those
slowly
things.
changing, so then it's a bit easier managing. That's like I've just planted a lavender field just for something different. Not a lot of plants, but just something different that I don't have to keep
for heaven's sake,
planting
Mike.
each year. And it's just outside the window, so it's on a hillside. It's not a big area, but just
doesn't matter.
I've always wanted to grow lavender, so as you get older, you just want to grow things that you enjoy looking at too.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I think it's awesome.
And that's the biggest thing. You've got to enjoy doing it.
You do.
Enjoy doing the job. So,
Mike, it's been an absolute joy talking to you. Thank you very much for making the effort to actually drive into town so that we had internet. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers do as well. So that's awesome. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. To stay in the loop, follow Fresh Cut Flower Wholesalers on Instagram. Even with big changes coming to their website, their Insta feed is a place for behind-the-scenes looks and a sneak peek of what's blooming next. Fresh Cut Flower Wholesalers, established in 1992, evolving for tomorrow. That's it for this episode, Petals. I'm Jo Robinson, and I'm signing off until next time, knowing that if we work together, we'll keep the New Zealand floral industry growing and flourishing.